Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy, brought to you by the Gonna Geek Network. Bringing you the latest nerdy news and geekdom, here are the hosts of the show. Anthony.
No pants, all bacon and dick butts.
Naki.
Don't be jealous that my robot penis is bigger than your robot penis.
Chris.
So when Chris doesn't know how to transition to a new topic because he's flustered, he just hits the button on the soundboard.
And sometimes some special guests.
This makes Burt Reynolds blush. As Magneto once said, "Ha ha ha, welcome to die."
If you're a kid and listening, you rock and your parents are awful.
A brand new ATGN starts in 3, 2, 1.
So that's the secret project I've been working on for like 2 weeks, and thankfully I had some help from one Steve Boyd to do some voiceover work for me. So if you are listening live or listening to the later recording, this is the brand new intro for All Things Good Nerdy Podcast.
I was going to ask, was that Steve?
That was Steve. Steve did some voiceover work for me because he's going to be the voiceover dude to the entire network because he currently does the Gonna Geek podcast and he does the Radio Free WTWD podcast. He's everywhere.
I thought it was either going to be I thought it was either Steve or Cody. Sorry, they have kind of similar.
Yeah,
range.
It was Steve. Although I did use Cody's appearance from like episode 50 in there just because it's too good a line to miss up. On.
I should talk to him about having him come back on.
Sorry, I'm all blushing. I get my own bump.
Well, this makes Burt Reynolds blush. I had to censor it just in case, so I cut out one word out of that. Don't worry.
Well, Naki wasn't here, so I had to bring the sexy back.
That is true.
I was going to say Willie was my replacement. See, he doesn't have enough hair on the top of his head, but the rest of the body hair covers the. There it is. covers that for us. So
before we get started too much, I just want to take a chance to welcome everyone to episode 180 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast, recorded live on Sunday, October 11th, 2015. We have the full cast and crew back. Welcome back, Naki.
Hi. Missed you guys. Sorry I was gone for so long.
Who are you?
Well, I found some bones and some water on Mars, and then I kind of put myself back together using some robot parts, and I'm assuming I'm the same person as before, because I was enough robot before, so.
Fair enough.
I thought I was getting a little philosophical with it and asking, no, who are you?
I want to know who you are.
I don't know. I don't compute that far. Come on, give me some.
I do not grok that. We've also got Anthony back, of course.
Yes.
We don't have a fancy new intro for him, sorry.
No.
We'll get new ones in the intro soon, I promise. I just had to go with a good default line.
Well, I mean, it does perfectly describe ATGN. So
Yeah, it sort of does. I'm Chris. I'm always here. You guys don't care about that. But the most important thing...
We do care about Chris, because if Chris wasn't here, there wouldn't be a show.
There'd be no production, that's for sure.
I'm too lazy. I have my own show to edit.
Yeah, I've got... Editing's a bitch. But more importantly, we've got Willie back for, what is this, week 5 or 6 in a row?
4? 4.
4? Okay.
The 4-peat, not a repeat, not a 3-peat, but a 4-peat.
Wait, is it 4? Because I was gone for 3 weeks, and he was here the week before, so maybe it's 5.
This is week 5, I thought.
This is 5. He was on 176, 77, 78, and 79.
Yeah, because 176 was the long Willie, 177 was the extended Willie, 178 was the Willie Experience Part 3, and then last week was the permanent Willie.
Yep.
So, is Willie just a host now? Does this make Willie a host?
He's almost beat the guest hosting record, let's be honest.
No, I don't think... I think Ryan still got it.
No, in a row. Ryan's got it at 5, I think, is the record. So
I thought he was at 6.
I'll have to go back and check the notes. I don't remember that.
Because we had Ryan...
Ryanuary.
And then he did a week after Ryanuary. Or it was a week before.
He did an extra week on top of Ryanuary.
Right. Months are generally 4 episodes.
Yeah. I still thought it was 6, but I could be wrong.
Well, I'll go back to the January 2013 episodes and do a recount after the show. But we like to start the show off with a little story. Who's got one for us this week?
Should Willie and I rock, paper, scissors shoot for that, or what?
Well, I think by default it would go to you if you had one, Naki.
Oh. Okay. Well, since I've been gone for a few weeks, I have plenty, I'm sure. Okay,
Oh
see,
my God,
I just want to
that
stop the
music popping into my
podcast
head.
right there. I want everybody to realize that Anthony was just singing Kelly Clarkson.
Damn right. She's awesome.
Be loud and proud, buddy.
Wow.
Anyways, so I was gone for personal reasons, and it was also our boyfriend and I's anniversary. So, you know, I was taking care of some stuff, but I was still working at the same time, which means my days are now, I work mornings in the gym in the accounting department, and then at night I still work in the kids club, which makes for a 12-hour day. It's a very long day.
Hey.
But anyways, so I had just switched from accounting to kids club, and I walk in, and I have two favorite little girls, and they're there. And I was just like, hooray, my day's starting off good. And the youngest one I've known since I started working there. Basically, my first day was her first day. And so the two of us bonded. Sorry, I have a dog who's trying to get in. The two of us bonded, like, right away. And we're playing around, and she drinks her milk. She's 2 years old, and it's about this big, and she just drinks it in, like, less than 10 minutes. Like, just chugs. It's all gone. We're like, okay. She was really thirsty, whatever. And she goes running into the maze. And so the maze we have is 3 levels. You got the bottom where the slide is. There's a little wormy hole where the kids can climb up. Then there's the middle level. And then there's the top level. And the top level has another little slide that you can slide into the ball pit. So the girl is up on the top level, about to go into the ball pit, when all of a sudden I start hearing this whimpering noise. And then she refers to me as mommy because she doesn't speak English. Her first language is Serbian. So she refers to me as mommy, and I hear mommy, and the
Ew.
No.
Did it actually
thank
go
Oh,
down the slide into
it
the
went
ball pit?
down the slide into the ball pit, all over the top level, down into the middle level, down the second slide, down into the ground. And then she comes flying out of the maze, and as she's running out, she's going. I'm like, ah! I just yell at my partner. I'm like, I'm going to go get her mother. And she goes, come clean the maze. I'm like, no, I got to go get her mother first.
So I'm
Run
gonna get
out.
mother. You clean the maze.
You have to realize my partner is 70. Okay?
Oh.
So it's just rude of me to make her go in the maze. So I don't. I have to be the one to go into the maze. Anyways, that's a later second of that story. So I'm running out to the gym to find her mother. Find the mother, and she goes, oh, do I have to leave? I'm like, yes, you have to leave. Your daughter is projectile vomiting everywhere.
The vomit is everywhere. You must leave, please.
What
in
did
my
you feed
rec
her?
room. So I come running back in after I get the mother. The mother is going to go grab all the stuff and then leave. And I get back into the room. My partner has her wrapped up in a towel, and she's crying. She's so sad, and she goes, Mommy, no. I'm like, I know, sweetie, it'll be okay. So the mother comes back, and she goes, you know, she ate a big bowl of cereal, she ate milk and cookies, and then she came here. I'm like, yeah, then she chugged her milk when she came here, and she goes, yeah, she probably is just a little full right now. I'm like, well, not anymore.
Yeah, I'd say that problem's solved.
Can we stop somewhere for something to eat?
Well, yeah, because now she's hungry again.
Yeah, now she's hungry, and she's not sick. Like, we checked for fever, she didn't have a runny nose or eyes or anything. She was just really full, and then she went running.
Oh, she tried the gallon challenge, basically.
Basically,
I
she
mean,
had the
you can't
gallon
drink that
challenge.
much milk. Your body's like, reject.
And considering you're a tiny 2-year-old doing that, terrible plan.
Yeah.
Terrible plan.
Terrible plan. Oh.
So then I had the fun of having to go get the hazmat suit out of the storage closet and climbing through the maze and cleaning out all the balls and not throwing up in the suit while I'm cleaning up this pasta, and I'm gagging as I think about it.
Did you make sure to get underneath the balls really carefully?
You mean cute cupboard balls are your fetish? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, I was going to keep it a secret and be, nonchalant about it, but I mean, if you want to just
I mean,
put it
if
out
that's
there.
your fetish, that's your fetish. Whatever works for you. I'm not going to judge.
So, Naki, while you've been telling your story, I look on your bookshelf and can only read out the title of one of these books, and it just says muffins in big letters. I'm like, I want a muffin. It's completely random, but I'm sitting there the whole time you're talking, I'm like, does that say muffins? I'm like, sure as shit, that does say muffins.
There it is.
What's wrong with muffins?
I want
need
some
to make-
muffins. That's the thing.
You know what? Tuesday, I'm gonna make some pumpkin muffins
You
Yes.
can bring me some.
Pumpkin.
from
All right.
scratch.
Let's see, I've got fruit and nut, chocolate, special occasion, simply delicious, or healthy options. Which kind would you like, Chris?
Not that last one.
Yeah, not the last one.
Chocolate butterfly cakes,
Yeah, let's go with that. It said chocolate.
brandied cherry muffins. Ooh, that's a lot of
Ooh.
brandy that's involved in that.
Oh, dear.
Not enough.
Dear.
Mocha muffins, frosted lavender muffins. That sounds weird. Ooh, there's rose petal muffins. I don't understand flour food. I can't eat it. Refrigerator cake, white chocolate tarts, chocolate
Man.
tartlets.
Okay, so I'm gonna cut off Naki here because this is making me hungry. And I'm gonna say, let's just roll to the news of the week.
Warm molten centered chocolate cupcake.
ATGN Studios on the internet. It's the news of the week.
Yeah, I just straight up played you off like at the Academy Awards right there. This was our Academy Awards moment. I was like, I can't hear more about muffins. Hit the bump.
If my camera went higher, you could see all of the. I have a lot of cookbooks. For those of you who don't know, my first degree was in culinary, and I actually do still really enjoy cooking. I just don't enjoy cooking for people. So, I've got books upon books in here. This is just the only place where this one fit. But
Muffins.
I could one day, maybe that'll be one of the videos for absurdities, as a tour of my bookshelf, because this is ridiculous.
It's redonkulous.
It
Speaking of
is.
other redonkulous things, we've got the news of the week. It's basically our chance to share with you what we think is the important stuff. And if you don't think it is, well, tough noogies, because we do. I got nothing. I was up really late last night, guys. I'm sorry.
I was up really late for no reason. I was just laying in bed
Firing all
watching.
3 cylinders.
Like 1 a.m.
I'm firing on one cylinder. That's beside the point. So, news of the week. Who wants to go first? We have a volunteer.
I'll go. I've got a double.
Ooh, double whammy.
Double whammy. So my first one is one that I'm personally really excited for, because as someone who is Indonesian, which is technically Polynesian and not Asian, but most people don't recognize that difference. So regardless, there is a new. They announced the next Disney princess, and it is a Polynesian princess named Moana. And on top of that, they announced her actress, and it's 14-year-old Auli'i Cravalho. And I wanted to make sure I said that right, so I actually, in the show notes, I wrote the description on how to say her name, because
The pronunciation guide.
yeah, the pronunciation of that, because I really wanted to say it right. She is absolutely adorable. She's just so cute. And she is teaming up with The Rock, and they are doing a Polynesian movie that'll be coming out next Thanksgiving, I believe. It's funny, Jeanette, who's been on the show, the first thing she did was think of me, because I'm always complaining. The only glimpse of Polynesian that we see in pop culture is Lilo and Stitch, and that's Hawaii. And Lilo and Stitch is my favorite. So I'm like, this grows even more on my Disney side of things, because I'm really proud that we're finally getting representation, and that's really cool to me. The only thing you ever see of Polynesian culture is in Hawaii 5-0, which really it doesn't count because it's still 2 white guys, and then that's really it. We don't really exist in the world today. So it's actually really cool for me to see something in pop culture. So for me, this is really exciting because it's my culture. It's what I grew up with. I'm an island girl trapped in the Midwest. That's what I've always referred to it as. That's what I am. I'm an island girl. So it's really cool to see that. The other thing that I'm really, really, really excited about is Into the Badlands got its first Comic-Con trailer. Or got not its first trailer, but it had its Comic-Con trailer released this week at New York Comic-Con. And Into the Badlands stars Danny Wu, who is a martial arts badass. If you have not seen his movies Tai Chi Zero and Tai Chi Hero, which I understand people are like, Tai Chi, bleh. No, watch these movies, they're great. He's got a huge, like, row of, like, Hong Kong cinema under his belt. The man is a martial arts, just amazing to watch. And he is one of the headliners of it. The other one is, I believe her name is Emily Beecher. She is from The Village. She was the lead in The Village, which, as stupid as that movie was, she did fine with what she had, you know? And I'm really kind of excited. This is basically like what they're taking is feudal China, but putting it in post-apocalyptic New Orleans. And the guns are outlawed. There's only swords, and it's all martial arts. It looks really, really cool. I highly recommend checking out the trailer. For those unaware, I am a martial art movies. It goes for me as like martial arts, horror, comedy. You know, that's I like that. That's my slew of what I look for in theater and in movies. And the second I see martial arts on American TV, I'm like, we haven't had that since Kung Fu with David Carradine. I'm pretty positive. Was that the last show?
Quite possibly. I don't know. I was trying not to make an autoerotic asphyxiation joke.
I met him. He was such a nice guy.
It's always the quiet ones.
He was really quiet. Like, so it was him and Michael Madsen at this meeting thing. I was working Rocky Horror, and Michael Madsen is like hitting on all of us because, you know, we're running around in our underwear. But then there's David Carradine just quietly sitting in the corner. So of course I'm drawn to him to talk to, besides the fact of Kung Fu, and that's what I knew him from. And I was like,
did he have a raised collar on his shirt?
He did.
Yeah, he was
so
sitting there
did
going,
Michael.
Well, you guys weren't paying attention because you guys were running around in your undies.
You guys going dark.
You can send your hate mail to atgnpodcast@GonnaGeek.com.
Already doing it.
They're already going to Chris. Like I'm all about David Carradine. I love that guy.
I was just going for the cheap laugh. I don't really care one way or another. I'll be honest.
You're a cheap laugh.
Ha ha! Like that.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that's my news of the week. Is that Into the Badlands now has a Comic-Con extended trailer. They do have like a short, like 15-second trailer online, and then there's this extended one that just came out, I believe, yesterday, and then Moana, which I'm really, really excited for. I'm excited to see representation in media.
Rock.
And also, it's The Rock, who is also Samoan, and everybody seems to like forget that. Like, the man's Samoan.
He's Black Samoan.
There's a lot of people who don't realize that. You have to understand. Like, most people think he's his.
Need to look at his fucking tattoo then.
Well, it's like me. A lot of people think I'm Hispanic. I'm not Hispanic at all, and it's okay. I don't mind that people think I'm Hispanic.
I was being good earlier and not saying you're not Mexican.
Everyone and their uncle. First thing they start speaking to me is Spanish, and I'm like, no habla español.
Mi español es muy piquito, muy piquito.
Muy. Like we have all one of the guys at the gym is one of our janitors at the gym. He's Mexican, doesn't speak much, but I knew he was asking me what time my area closes, and I have to sit there and go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Nice.
So bad. Anyways, move on from me. I talked too much.
All right, so I'll take my news next because it's fairly short, but it's sweet. There were rumors coming out that Mark Hamill would be returning to be the Trickster in The Flash in Season 2. We all know he was effing awesome in Season 1. So comicbook.com decided, the hell with these rumors, let's find out. They reached out to the CW, and they can now confirm that Mark Hamill is returning as the Trickster in Season 2 of The Flash. No information on what episode or when it's going to happen in the season, but it going to happen. And if you want my guess, somewhere around December when Star Wars 7 comes out.
That would make sense.
That's a good guess.
Yeah.
I'm actually, I watched both episodes this week. I was proud of me. I actually watched it on the same week it came out.
That's good. We'll get to that after the news of the week. I had some thoughts. But that's the big thing is that Mark Hamill's back.
Yay.
I can roll off of that because Mark Hamill's back in something else as well because we know that he signed off on The Killing Joke. And coming out of New York Comic Con, there's been lots of news, including the fact that Warner Brothers has signed off on the Killing Joke cartoon being a rated R cartoon. So it's not that, I mean, the DC Comics cartoons have always been much more adult than the Marvel ones, but this one's gonna go nuts.
Well, here's the caveat. They've signed off on it being rated R. There's no confirmation it will actually go R. It depends on how brave they're feeling.
Why wouldn't you? But just the idea that they're willing to push it that far to do a DC animated film to where we're gonna get frickin' Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, and an R rating. Like, that's insane.
If they do it.
If they do it. But my actual news of the week was all the news coming out of New York Comic Con from Action Lab Entertainment, because basically they're just going nuts. I tried to find the one and I couldn't find it, but I found it in a Comic Shop News, the actual Action Lab Actionverse number 0 announcement. Action Lab has, they're keeping going with Molly Danger, bringing back Midnight Tiger, and continuing with Stray, and actually making them all part of a shared universe now. So they're going to release Actionverse number 0, and the Action Lab Entertainment Group will actually have the superhero books under Action Lab's banner will all share a shared universe. So Midnight Tiger, Stray, and Molly Danger will all live in the same world. So that's going to be kind of cool to see what they do with that. And then I was kind of stoked to see Blood and Dust, which is continuing, a book that I actually worked on the first issue. The second issue has been picked up by Action Lab Entertainment for the Action Lab Danger Zone. And so with their new badass artist, the new guy they got on that book is gorgeous. They're going to be moving forward with doing the story of basically the world's oldest vampire who is kind of stuck as a babysitter, dealing with crazy demons down south. It's a really cool, really wicked book. I backed the first one on Kickstarter, but Action Lab picked that one up, and then they also picked up a book that Sean Pryor, who helped co-found Action Lab, just did his own comic, Cash and Carry, and it has now been picked up from Action Labs. And that one I was really happy to see because I actually just got all of my Cash and Carry Kickstarter rewards. So I got the comic. I got about 42 different postcards because they did a postcard of like every different alternate cover, a bunch of the promo art, all sorts of stuff, bookmarks and stuff in there. And then I went overboard on which version I got, so I paid for the Martheus Wade version. So I also got the graphic novel of Shinobi Ninja Princess.
Yay! I love Shinobi.
I added on top of it the Tressa Bolin package, so I got the first issue of Motherless Creatures by Tressa Bolin and Sean Pryor.
I still have my copy of that to send you, by the way.
I know you do, but now I'll have two. And Tressa also did a card for me. So it's weird because they asked which character do you want, and I said, well, I want Multiple Man. And so I cheated and got 3 characters because it's all Jamie Madrox. Because Madrox is awesome. But the big thing for why the why the package was so expensive was that it came with a Martheus Wade 11x17 commission. And so I've got a new piece of Spider-Man art that's going up on the wall in the new place.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
That's really cool.
I was stoked when that showed up. So yeah, so I keep backing stuff on Kickstarter, and it keeps getting picked up by Action Lab. So it's a good combination.
It works out for you.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff coming out from Action Lab, and I'm pretty sure that's not going to be all of their announcements for the weekend. But those are the big ones so far. But yeah, congrats to Sean Pryor and the Cash and Carry guys, and all the guys that worked on Blood and Dust, because yeah, it's a great, wicked comic. And you know, Action Lab, it's funny because I made it a point that before I was actually on my pull list, I had Action Lab all, and I was just getting all of their books. I've actually had to stop doing that because they've gotten so many IPs and added so many titles that I just can't get them all anymore. But you know, it's a good thing. It's because they're doing well and they're putting out tons of awesome comics.
I really need to catch up on Princeless.
Princeless and the Raven Princess have both been really good. Yeah, and there is no comic publisher out there right now that's putting out more diverse titles and more titles with female leads than Action Lab. Fucking get on it, people.
Princeless is really, really fucking amazing. In case
Basically
anybody needs...
Everything
Yeah.
Jeremy Whitley writes is amazing.
He wrote. I didn't know this. I didn't realize this. He was writing for My Little Pony, and he did 1 or 2 for Steven Universe. So I thought that was cool.
I didn't know about the Steven Universe, but I knew he was writing My Little Pony, yeah. Because he complained when he came to Lexington, it was like 2-3 years ago. He only brought 50 issues of the 50 copies of the issue of My Little Pony that was out at the time, and he was mad because by the time he'd been there, I think 4 hours on Friday, they were gone.
Damn.
And he's like, shit, I didn't buy enough. Because, of course, the publisher's like, however many you want, they'll sell them to him at cost, and they resell them at the cons. And he's like, I guess just give me 50 copies, I'll be good. And, yeah, like, the first night, he was sold out of them. He's like, shit, I have no more copies of My Little Pony, and that's what everybody was coming to get from him.
Whoops.
Oops.
Yeah, it was just
them books sell.
It was just a guest on 1 or 2 of the Steven Universe comic books. I don't get those in physical form. I get them in my tablet because I actually just don't have any room for comic books at the moment, which is really sad.
Yeah, it is. Blasphemy.
I've done the tour of my room. Like, look, now I'm touching my bed. Like, I just reached backwards, and now I'm touching my bed. So
Oh my.
I'm not going to tell you what I'm touching.
I can guess.
Well, I don't even know. So on that note, hey Willie, what do you got for your news of the week?
Really, I gotta follow that?
Yeah, transition to that, sucker.
I give up trying to transition on some
Well,
of these
here's
things
what I'm
now.
touching. My news of the week.
Ooh, well played.
So, Marvel made an announcement, I think Monday, or was it Tuesday? That doesn't matter. They put in another movie in Phase 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That's correct. They put that in for July 6th, 2018. We have Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That's
They also
correct.
moved up Black Panther to February 16th, 2018. And then the part that people are kind of getting angry about, they slid Captain Marvel back to March 8th, 2019.
But
And also...
Well, since they haven't cast Captain Marvel yet.
I've got a little asterisk on that though. So continue, Willie, and then we'll go back.
But also, they've announced that they slated 3 untitled movies for May 1st, 2020, July 10th, 2020, and November 6th, 2020. Who has any guesses?
It's me. I'm a superhero now.
Captain America 4.
Captain America 4, Thor 4, and Iron Man 4.
I was about to say sequels,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, sequels of some kind. I don't know that it's going to be much original stuff until they get comfortable with the original stuff they're doing in Phase
I can
3.
see them tossing
Planet
in
Hulk.
Inhumans too.
Planet Hulk would be interesting. Well, Inhumans...
She-Hulk.
That's actually... Inhumans got dropped back in the schedule, which I didn't mention in there. And there's a lot of conspiracy theorizing going on that we might not even get the Inhumans movie after all because Kevin Feige is running the...
Right back.
Yeah, Kevin Feige's running the MCU now, and the TV stuff is still run by Ike Perlmutter, I think is the name, because Feige didn't really want to work with them anymore. So since they're separate now, the thought is that they might not even do the Inhumans movie because that was just a concession to the TV side. Now, that's all rumor. Who knows if that's the case?
Yeah.
But I want to see Black Bolt.
I think you might get it eventually. I just wouldn't be shocked if it
Why
slid
would you
further
wanna
right.
see Black Bolt. That's like the least interesting Inhuman to see in a movie. It's a guy in a blue suit that won't talk.
Well, when he's played by Vin Diesel, probably.
Yeah,
But
let's
it-
give
but
let's
it's
give
like-
Vin Diesel a role where he says 3 words overall, and then another role where he says no words.
Yeah, no words. It's literally going to be a guy standing there not talking. I want to see fucking Lockjaw and Medusa. That's what I want to see on screen.
I'm sure he's going to
I wanna
say
see a
one
giant
word.
talking, teleporting dog, and I want to see giant, living hair, like whipping out and kicking people's ass. Like
So-
that I want to see on screen.
But okay, they could actually still do that. If you haven't, and if you guys haven't seen the latest promo for Jessica Jones, you can see what they're doing with the Purple Man, which he looks creepy as fuck. But it looks like what they could do is they could bring the Inhumans in that way. So I mean, there is still ways where we could still see the Inhumans. My little asterisk on the Captain Marvel though is they keep bouncing her between the 2 Avengers movies, like in between Avengers 1 and 2 versus after 2. They keep bouncing her around on that, so it's just a matter of is she going to be...
Well, she was never going to be between Avengers 1 and 2. That was a pipe dream.
I thought her release, one of her release dates was in between 1 and 2.
Well, we're after Avengers 2 already.
She's talking about parts 1 and 2.
Oh,
Sorry,
parts 1 and 2.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Infinity War parts 1 and 2.
Yeah,
not
sorry.
Avengers 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So sorry. It's still early for me. Shut up.
No, makes sense. I'm kind of with you. I don't think it's not going to happen because there's been so much positive press on it. I think what they've realized is, holy crap, Ant-Man did better than we thought it would, and there's a lot of people that were excited to see Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp, so we need to capitalize on that, especially after...
Lilly in a skin-tight suit, that's what we want to see.
Well, and there's also the fact that...
Go watch Lost.
Yeah, you can do that.
Already did, sadly.
Ant-Man Picked Up was pretty popular, and the second teaser in Ant-Man, everyone's like, oh my god, I can't wait to see her put on the suit. So it's kind of smart for them to bank on that. And one would assume they'll have roles of some kind in Captain America's Civil War and potentially Infinity War.
See, the way that they keep bouncing Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel around makes me think that they're not sure if they want to put her in the Infinity War, which would make sense if they put her in Infinity War, at least in part 2. But it doesn't. It looks like they just haven't made their mind up yet if they're going to or not.
Though they've got the problem right now. They have way too many balls in the air, so they got to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they have not. All right. So this is not a critique, and it's probably going to happen at some point. They haven't had a flop yet, which dictates what happens going forward and doesn't. If Ant-Man had flopped, we obviously would not be talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I doubt that schedule would have shifted. The thing that really has me intrigued is Black Panther moving up. That means something awesome's going to happen in Civil War if they're moving the Black Panther movie up, so we get that sooner.
Does anybody else think it's funny that they're moving Black Panther to February?
Okay, I was not going to say that, but it is kind of ironic, isn't it?
Yeah, we're gonna put Black Panther up for Black History Month. Really? That's the plan, Marvel. All right, whatever.
Well, you could also read it another way, is generally movies that come out in February are the ones that are put out that have lesser expectations because there's not a bunch of good stuff in at that time.
Whoa, that has been proven wrong twice for me. Dread and Kingsman.
Okay, Kingsman was awesome. I have not seen Dread yet, and it's one of those...
Dread is worth your time.
Well, see, here's the thing. Everyone keeps telling me, oh, you gotta watch Dread, it's so good. So this is one of those stupid things I have where everyone keeps telling me to do something, so I kick my heels and I'm like, no, fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want.
Well, no, I'm not even telling you have to watch it, Chris. The only one that I will tell you have to watch still is Fury Road. But anyways, Dread, I enjoyed. I didn't see it in the big screen. I only saw it on the small screen.
Oh, you missed out.
Me too.
And it's worth the watch. It's really just it's enjoyable to watch something that, to me, it doesn't. You don't have that stupid love storyline. You just have really good action from start to finish. And that was the same thing for Fury Road for me too. Is that I like action movies. I hate love stories. You have to understand, I am not what one would refer to as a romantic person. I'm just kind of like, why are you doing this? Do you want something? Like, that's how I react when people are nice to me. So
there's a huge difference though between Mad Max, Fury Road, and Dread, is that Max could not be in that movie, and it's the same fucking beautiful movie.
Yes.
Dread is actually about Dread.
That is the
like
difference.
Dread is there, and it is important that he's there, and he's the reason that shit's happening.
Golf clap for me, guys. I'm actually going to watch Mad Max tonight. I want to rent it.
Yay!
I've not seen it yet.
Yeah, it's good, and it's damn pretty. But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, honestly, if Mad Max's character wasn't in that movie, it wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't have made a difference one way or the other. That movie is Furiosa Road.
Story.
It is Furiosa Road.
Now, let's see if it takes over my top movie of the year, and that's Kingsman still. Top movie.
Let's see. And Dread also still had two great female leads in it. The sidekick and the main bad guy are both amazing. But that movie without Carl Urban would just suck. Because he is perfect as Dread.
The last thing I heard was he's actually petitioning to get a sequel going, Carl Urban.
He's been trying to do that
for years.
Yeah, he's been working that for years.
Yeah.
Do it.
The woman who plays Mama is also Cersei in Game of Thrones.
Lena Headey.
And that woman got chops on her. Her acting ability is amazing. I've researched her more since Game of Thrones, and that's how I actually got into Dread because I knew she was Cersei. That woman is a bitch. But
she's also Queen Gorgo in the 300 movies, and she was Sarah Connor in the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Yeah,
Ooh.
so
she's basically queen of the badasses is who she is.
I had to escort Eliza Dushku around, and I was kind of afraid that she was going to kick my ass. But now I'm more afraid. I've realized I'm more afraid of Lena Headey, and that I would die. by the time
She's
that
also,
was.
I think, isn't she also much larger than Elijah Dushku? Dushku's
She's-
little, isn't she?
She's Eliza Dushku's tiny, and Lena is taller.
Yeah.
By far. But the thing that was funny about Eliza Dushku and leading her around was also her giant ass basketball boyfriend was with her. So then there's tiny Eliza, and then tiny me, and then giant basketball dude. And I was just like,
I hate Rick Fox, that lucky bastard.
it was a very weird being security for it's also weird for me being security for wrestling pros, because I'm like, why do you need security?
Because a lot of them don't know how to actually fight.
but you're like this big, and for those of you who don't know, I'm rather short. So I mean, yes, I'm tiny but fierce, but I mean, I'm still short.
Punches will be untrained but forceful.
Well, no, they're very trained. I was not a Muay Thai fighter for nothing, but I mean, I'm tiny. I'm 5'3". I'm not very tall. I don't get very far. Chris can attest to that, as being the only person in this who has actually met me in person.
Naki es muy pequeño.
She's itty bitty.
You understood that, right, Naki?
Yes. Shut up. S'il vous plaît, faites
She's
attention à
not
la Québec.
Yes, dude.
I don't know what any of that meant.
His French, here. Please pay attention and listen well.
So,
What?
since I don't know what that meant, you know what that means. I get awkward and play a bump.
Penis.
Yeah, that's the porn bump we like to call it. But we're going to transition to something else we've been doing since the fall TV season has started. Here's some updates on the current shows that have come out this fall. You guys, I talked about how Minority Report I was kind of on the fence on. Yeah, probably a good thing because Fox just shortened the order.
Ooh.
Shock and awe.
That's probably a bad sign. Well, it didn't have great ratings, and in all honesty, as someone who watched the first 3 episodes, it was just on the periphery of pulling me in. It was just like, don't care.
I watched half of the first episode and was like, I'm not going to get into this.
I wanted to like it, but I could not. But on a plus side...
There's good news, too, yeah.
Yeah, Blind Spot got a full season pickup, it was announced.
Yes! I love that show.
I am 2 episodes behind, but I've greatly enjoyed it so far.
I only watched the first episode, and I kept, like, the entire first episode, like, I was really interested, and plus I love Jamie Alexander, because, Thor. Anyways,
Yeah.
Lady
Sif is a
Sif.
badass.
But I really enjoy her. But the entire first episode, I was sitting there wondering, so when did these people get personalities?
Yeah, I'm hoping that's just pilot syndrome right there, as they're too worried about getting stuff out, and... Well, Jamie Alexander's character shouldn't have a personality. She doesn't remember anything. But...
Right, she's the only one that I, forgave for not having a personality, but, the rest of the Force doesn't have one.
She builds one as it's going forward. There's a lot more character development in the second episode.
Okay.
It was The whole first episode is basically just, hey, it's Jamie Alexander naked, covered in tattoos. All right. That's all that they're selling that first episode on.
But then the other thing that's in that first episode, and I noticed it right away, and then I realized that nobody else did. But the girl who played Chrissy in Growing Pains. Okay, yes, I watched Growing Pains. Is one of the scientists, and I'm like, you still exist. Good for you. You're not under Kirk Cameron's Christian shadow.
No, she's awesome. She's the head lab tech in the show, and she's playing a character that's super smart. She's great in it. She's funny too.
But yeah, that was the only other thing that I noticed about that show, was that nobody had personality, and Chrissy was in it.
It's on my watch list still, and I think, is it next week, I think, is Supergirl, or, yeah, it's next week.
No, I think it's 2 weeks. I think we got 2 weeks for Supergirl.
Okay, we're still a ways out, but that's probably the next premiere I'm most excited about.
When does Legends of Tomorrow come
Monday,
out?
October
January,
26th.
December time frame for Legends.
Okay.
New bags at the LCS. Monday, October 26th.
Okay.
Supergirl.
Yes, we still got a couple weeks. And Legends tomorrow, I think, is in between the mid-season of Flash and Arrow. That's what I'd heard, at least.
I wasn't sure for that. Into the Badlands is November 15th, which is the one that I'm super excited.
But speaking of, Flash and Arrow returned this week.
Yeah, they did!
Yeah! Hell yeah. I've watched them both twice.
I've only watched them each once, but I'm hoping that this means no more Batman. I'm really
Look, all I know is Jay fucking Garrick. That's all I need to know. I was like, yes!
Upgrade security so no one can walk in and out of this place. Are you fucking shitting me?
Was anybody else teary during Flash? I was teary during Flash. Or maybe I'm just emotional because I'm female. But I got a little teary. Like, I was like, oh.
Why? Because he was sad Flash at the beginning? Or
because
of Rory?
Because, like, it was a kind of a mixture of things. Like, just a mixture of it all. And I think because I personally relate to the isolation thing, that's what I do. When I'm dealing with things, that's my first thing to do is to push everybody away. So, like, maybe that I just took it too much on a personal level. I don't know.
See, I felt like Barry was trying too hard to be Oliver with that whole thing, because that's a total Oliver Queen move. Shove everyone away.
It is an Oliver Queen thing, and we all know how I feel about him. He's my least favorite character on Arrow. But
actually, right now I'm not a big fan of Diggle because he's acting like a bitch.
Thanks, guys. I haven't seen The Flash yet.
We didn't spoil anything.
I'm just kidding.
Nothing. I was gonna say nothing's spoiled. We didn't tell you the details. Just
spoil it.
I've had time to watch Flash and Arrow twice. You have no excuse.
So
we came out Tuesday.
We have a question in the chat room about Flash, since we've all watched most of it, except maybe Willie. I'm not sure if he's screwing with me or not. Lexus asks in the chat room, here's a question. Should I watch season 1 of The Flash, or is it just one season-long origin story / stuff I already know?
No, watch Flash.
You gotta watch season 1 of Flash. It's on Netflix now.
It. Yeah. It's on Netflix playing on my TV right now. It's on Netflix now.
Here's the thing. I understand the question because my dad asked it to me yesterday. Because he's only seen a few episodes here and there of Flash season 1. Flash season 1 isn't necessary, just the finale really is, but it is such a fun ride to get to that finale. Like they did such a good job on making me interested in Barry Allen, which I gotta tell you, after reading the comics, I was not that interested in Barry Allen.
Barry Allen sucks in the comics. He's boring. Wally West is awesome.
Grant Gustin's Barry is like a hybrid of Wally and Barry.
And what they did is
Barry Allen on the show is interesting.
They made Barry Allen an interesting character. They made the Flash to be an interesting character, period. And then they gave, not only that, they gave him such a diverse cast in people that it makes it a really fun ride from start to finish, where I had after Arrow kind of burned me with becoming Batman, really, I was so kind of wary getting into it, but you know what? Flash became my favorite out of it. So that is how I described it to my dad, is that like you really only need to watch the finale, but it's such a fun ride to get to the finale. I highly recommend watching the whole thing.
It's not like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where you could skip almost the entire first season up until episode 18 and really not miss out on a bunch.
But as Naki mentioned, the diverse cast, Drasman in the chat room said, I need to watch those CW shows, but I do not want to care for pretty white people. The diverse cast in Arrow, the Wests are actually played by black actors.
Oh, Flash, you mean?
Or Flash, yeah. Candace Patton and... He's Ed Green. I can't think of his fucking real name. He's Ed Green.
Jesse L. Martin.
Yeah, Jesse L. Martin. That's it.
Yeah.
So
it's not a cast of pretty white people.
Also, Cisco is very, very Hispanic.
Yes. We have a follow-up question in the chat room. The follow-up question is, why is DC so good at TV shows but horrible at movies? 2 words. Zack Snyder.
There's the difference. The difference there is your writers and your directors.
Showrunners versus a committee of people at Warner Brothers Films making decisions, 13, 14 people at a time.
It's showrunners who actually stay fairly true to the source material, and then...
Showrunners who care about the source material.
Modify them in a way that makes sense versus be like, we just want big explosions and blah, 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 blah. I'm not a fan of the DC cinematic universe, so I won't.
Screw you guys. Man of Steel was awesome.
No, it wasn't.
Yes,
no, it wasn't.
Wave my flag.
Full title.
So,
Man of Steel Collateral Damage.
It's disaster porn.
It is.
Okay, so my dad and I were talking about this yesterday. You have to understand, my dad is the one who I talk to a lot about this comic book stuff. Because he's the one who introduced me. So, we were talking yesterday, and he's like, "Why don't you like the DC movies?" I'm like, the Dark Knight trilogy made sense to me. It's supposed to be dark. It's supposed to be gritty, and that was really good. going into Man of Steel, I was really excited because you know what? You made Batman interesting to me again. So Man of Steel, maybe you'll make Superman interesting to me again. But they made the big mistake of turning Superman, which should be bright and colorful and happy.
Hopeful.
Exactly.
Thank you. Into a dark...
Giant blue Boy Scout.
You made it into a dark, gritty... And I'm like sitting here like, that's not Superman. Like, and I understand we're trying to do it for this generation, but what this generation needs isn't more dark and gritty. We need something hopeful, and that's what Superman should have been.
But it wasn't an S. It stood
Which is
for
what
hope.
they're trying to fix with Supergirl. Bright, shiny, and fucking hopeful. This is what the S is supposed to stand for.
So that was my big problem with Man of Steel. And I know in the past I haven't really come across as other than hating Man of Steel. Like I really wanted to be interested in Superman because Superman is boring as fuck to me. But I really wanted it to be an interesting character. And that was the thing that Superman Returns, while terrible, they did get that right in that it was bright and colorful and hopeful. It was terrible, but it was bright, colorful, and hopeful.
I don't think either one was terrible, but they both definitely have problems. But yeah, the amount of money that the Dark Batman movie made too many Warner Brothers executives go, no, all of our superheroes need to be dark. No one can laugh. There can't be any comedy. No one can smile. We need emo Superman hiding out on an oil rig. No.
And Marvel's response was, here's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
Here's a talking raccoon and tree.
Yeah. We have a laughing Indiana Jones running through space with a raccoon and a talking tree.
And a green woman.
That's true.
Hot green woman.
And Zoe Saldana
And
painted
a
green.
pro wrestler. We're going to make a pro wrestler famous again for acting.
Yeah, he got a gig in Spectre because of that, I think.
Well, don't forget he was also in The Man with Iron Fist.
It's true. So
I think lots of people were trying to forget that. Though there was also a new pro wrestler in The Flash, which was awesome to see. How cool was fucking Edge as the Atom Smasher?
I didn't even recognize him. Not gonna lie, I didn't recognize him. The short hair threw me.
Adam, all of a sudden, he's not Edge anymore. But yeah, no, he's been on, Haven, and apparently just building up them acting chops. Because, yeah, he was great as Atom Smasher. The only down part was the CGI on him growing was a little iffy.
There was some really wonky CGI there.
yeah, the CGI, it's obviously a TV budget.
He looked a little Gumby, damn it. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with him? He's not growing, he's like stretching. What the fuck? But yeah, what he played in it was awesome. His actual acting was great. I was impressed.
So if you guys liked hearing about both Arrow and Flash, I strongly encourage you head on over to GonnaGeekNetwork.com. Check out the Crimson Comet and the Starling Tribune. Those are the official podcasts on the network that cover both those shows. See? Nice transition. We got to plug the network here, guys.
Segway.
So
I wasn't even paying attention because I was reading the chat room. My bad.
That's kind of what I figured. But so, the question I have for you guys is, do you want to do more news, or you want to play a little bit of a game here?
I'm a fan of games myself.
What kind of game?
As long as I don't have to get naked on the internet, we're good.
No.
Is the Saw guy going to come out? Jigsaw?
This is one that the Naki kind of pioneered for us, so let me play the bump for it, that's all.
If there's one thing the ATGN crew knows how to do, it's rant. So what happens when we give them a random topic and ask them to cut loose?
Don't get me started on flat screen TV.
Don't get me started on reboots.
Seriously? Don't get them started.
So Naki, why don't you describe the game Don't Get Me Started to the listener out there?
First, I want to ask whose voice that was.
I got SP to do some voiceover work, so...
That doesn't help me at all.
It's not SP. I don't know.
It's not SP.
It's someone at SP's house.
I was going to say,
does a really good tiny girl voice.
I was going to say, that is not SP.
No.
Secondly, so the game is called Don't Get Me Started, and what we do is we look at some random thing, point to a host, and tell them to rant about it. They cannot like whatever the thing is. They have to say, don't get me started, and then rant about it. That is the entire game right there.
So there you go. Why don't you kick us off then, Naki?
All right. I'm going to throw the first one here to Willie, since he took my place while I was gone.
Ooh, it's new Naki versus old Naki.
Whoa, what?
You got enough hair to cover. It's fine.
Why am I the new Naki?
You just got to grow some boobs
Because
and move the hair to the top of your. Willie, tell me what you think about lamps.
Don't get me started on lamps. I can't find the right wattage ever. It's either too bright, too dark, and I can never. What happened to those lamps with the little 3 settings on them? Huh? Those were kind of nice. And I've never lived in a place with a dimmer switch. Those things were sweet too, but I can never get the right lighting. It's too bright right now.
Well done.
Good job. Yay, Willie!
I hate the guy on Anchorman who loves lamps.
I love lamp.
No.
I love lamp.
Chris does love lamp.
I love lamp.
Chris loved lamp long time.
Oh dear Lord. I love this game. Willie, you're up next. You get to pick someone and give a topic.
Alright, let's see. Oh, hey Chris.
Alright.
Why don't you like cigarettes?
Don't get me started on cigarettes. I grew up around it all the time when I lived in Germany. Everyone's effing smoking, so everywhere I go, I walk out of a place like, I smell like cigarette smoke. Take me to my college years, where every dumbass thinks just because I'm 18 years old and don't live at home anymore, I can smoke all the goddamn time because it's really cool to do. No, it's not cool. It's dumb if you're smoking just to look cool. If you want to for some other reason, that's great. But if you're doing it just because you're at school and it's your act of rebellion and the first thing you do when you walk out of the classroom and the hallway is light up, you're a fucking tool and I don't like you. Don't get me started on cigarettes.
As somebody who now has to live in a house with somebody who smokes, I really hate cigarettes.
So honestly, one of the worst things is one of my favorite sports bars in town recently went smoke-free about 2 years ago because of a city ordinance, which is awesome. But I loved going there to eat and have a couple beers with friends, but I would come out of there and just reek because there's people that would just light up the entire time. And I'm fine with it. If people want to smoke, that's not a problem. But don't subject me to it.
Oh, my city went smoke-free, I think, like in 2011.
Yeah, it's a great thing. I love it.
I was still in Rocky when
almost
Illinois
everything is
did.
smoke-free in Idaho now.
Yeah.
Illinois went smoke-free. I was still in Rocky, so probably 2008. Yeah, because that's when we had a dip in clients because people smoke at Rocky. That's what they do.
So it's my turn next. Naki, I'm going to kick it to you, and I want you to not get started on potatoes.
You just gotta think to say
Hang on,
about
I gotta think about it. Hang on, give me 1 second.
Well, you're not allowed to think about it. That's horse shit.
No, I know. No, I had to say it right because otherwise I was gonna sound off just terrible. So don't fucking get me started on potatoes because let me tell you something. They are starchy. They're just full of carbohydrates. They have all these like sugars that are natural, but you're like sitting there like, why am I getting fat? I'm eating potatoes. Oh wait. It's starch. It's carbohydrates. I'm not even paying attention to this shit because it's potatoes and it's supposed to be healthy, but it's not actually healthy. You can even eat sweet potatoes and they're like, yeah, they're healthy, but they're not healthy. All they do is make you fat. Potatoes make you fat, just like bread. The end.
I think you just won.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we still got one more person to go, but I think you won.
I'm skipping my turn.
No, you can't skip your turn. That's
Naki
horse
wins.
shit.
Yeah, Naki wins.
There's no skipping of turns.
Damn it.
Okay, so does that mean I have to give Anthony one now?
You have to give Anthony a topic
Apparently.
now.
Anthony, tell me what you really think of acrylic paint.
Don't get me started on acrylic paint. That shit sucks. Use nice oil paints. You fucking lay down layers. Shit blends in together really well. Fucking acrylic paint is just like watercoloring for kids. Everything just goes on fucking sloppy. It's thick. It doesn't blend. Nah, acrylic paint sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing with this. Sometimes you don't get a topic that's very conducive for bitching about.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm staring at, I have an oil painting a watercolor painting, and acrylic painting. So I was like, one of these threes is going to be it. I
So-
just kind of did
And a
spin the
lamp.
roulette.
I do all three, so I have no problem with any of them.
So Draftsman absolutely pegged in the chat room why I did potatoes. He goes, potatoes get to be on the movie The Martian. That's exactly why they popped in my head.
Nice.
I was
I'm
also
gonna science
expecting...
the shit out of this.
Yeah, I was also expecting a Lord of the Rings rant potentially off of that.
Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew.
Yeah, that I figured it could go either way.
Potatoes.
Fucking potatoes. Potatoes.
I need second breakfast.
I need
just had
first
a
lunch.
breakfast. But I'm eating my second breakfast of Maiji, of macadamia nuts.
So I did want to burn through a couple news stories real quick before we start to close out the show, just because the first one I really wanted to talk about is at New York Comic Con, they screened the first episode of Jessica Jones, and writers from IO9 were in there for the screening, and they said it was really good. And that David Tennant was awesome. And they said you're going to want to binge watch this show. So prepare your bodies to binge watch Jessica Jones. Everything I've seen so far looks really good.
The Purple Man looks so creepy.
Yeah. What'd you say, Willie? Sorry?
Who wasn't going to binge watch it?
Well,
I was going to try and space it out.
I did the same with Daredevil, and also because I think if you binge watch Daredevil, it'd be a little depressing.
Binge watching Daredevil was awesome. I don't know what you're
I don't
talking
know,
about.
man. It's like trying to binge watch Hannibal. That's a bad idea, too.
Oh, man.
It's a 13-hour origin story to get him into the suit and kicking Kingpin's ass, and it's totally worth watching it.
Yes.
Okay, binge watching Hannibal was a mistake because then, first off, I got really hungry, which is.
I'll say that might make you kill people.
But, but
Because
then
she's
I
hungry?
started developing feelings for this cute little detective guy who's like going after Hannibal, and I'm like, I never pictured Will to be handsome, like after reading the books. So to make him this handsome, cute little guy was terrible. Anyways, sorry, Hannibal. I still haven't seen the last like 5 episodes because they took him off of Hulu before I could watch him. Assholes.
Those bastards.
I even watched it with the commercials on Hulu. They still
Okay.
took it off.
I just got commercial-free Hulu. Yay!
Ooh. So I had one last topic for us to touch on, and it's because, you know, I like to make fun of the DC Cinematic Universe. And based on their reported plan for what they want to do with The Flash, oh dear lord, they take a great TV property, and according to Den of Geek, the Flash film is going to use more of an armored, quote, tech-based outfit for its titular hero. The notes among the comparison, the site notes a comparison can be made to the characters looking in Injustice Gods Among Us. So he's going to wear armor, just like everyone else does in the goddamn DC Cinematic Universe.
Why?
Because they're stupid. Can we quit referring to Ezra Miller as DC's The Flash? He's not the fucking Flash yet. Have you seen him in a suit? Have they started filming a movie? They're referring to Flash just because he's been announced as the character. They did the announcement like fucking 2 years ago. They haven't done shit with him yet.
Does he have a nipple hanging off of him? Or is that just part of a like
We're here?
It's like
I think it's just part of the armor. But I brought this up for anyone watching live. This is what the Flash looked like in the Injustice Gods Among Us game. It's not terrible if they go that route for armor, but if they build like fucking Iron Man armor, which I'm afraid they might do, then I think you're going to have a
I don't
problem.
think it looked quite that bad in Injustice, did it?
That was what the Injustice Flash's armor looked like.
But yeah, I mean, the idea it's the guy who can, move faster than anybody and really, out heal any type of wound. Let's cover him in body armor. Because that makes sense.
they did that for Superman?
It's counterintuitive. The Flash's ability is how fast he is and can avoid things. So let's put him in armor, which slows him down and would arguably reduce his range of motion.
Yeah, it's dumb as shit.
I don't. I know boyfriend wants to go see the movies, so I'm probably going to wind up seeing the movies because of that. But I really have no interest. They just piss me off. I just get angry. What's the point?
I love the Flash, which is kind of why I would want to see that at some point. But I don't know if I'm going to love that interpretation of the Flash, especially when there's one on TV that I like.
They could bring Cisco in to make a better armor suit.
There you go, just like they did in Arrow.
No, because the TV universe and the movie universes will not cross over, as DC has stated over and over again.
Which is
Cisco won't
stupid.
Yep.
Like, okay, so Stephen Amell, like right after they announced what's his name as going to be Flash,
Ezra Miller.
Yeah, he went on a rant and he was like, guys, we have this great show and we have you know, we have these characters established, and now you're basically just kicking him out, you know, because you don't want to make these shows cross over, but you should make these shows cross over. Like, he went on a whole rant about it on, what was it on? It was great, though. I can't think of what was on
Facebook?
No, it wasn't on Facebook. It was actually on a show.
One of his videos?
It was on a show. Because he got really upset that, you know, it was right after The Flash, like, just, like, did really well on its premiere, that they announced Ezra as the new Flash, and he was just like, you just, like, took the wind out of what's his name's sail.
Grant Gustin.
Thank you. I was confusing his name in my head. You just took all the wind out of his sails by announcing somebody else as being the Flash. So it's just like, yeah, I understood. It was completely shitty of DC to do to him. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those. I was like, why? I mean, we talked about it on the show when that happened, and I didn't understand it then. I don't understand it now.
You've got such a good base with the TV shows. I don't understand why
let me caveat, guys. This is not me being anti-DC or anything. It's just I don't understand the approach. That's more of what it is. When you've got something that works, let's ignore it, and that's their prerogative. They own the properties.
They're the multimillionaires with the driving force. But it, you know, that's when we as consumers come out with our money. We don't show up with our money if we don't support that.
And the release date is March 23rd, 2018. It's still fucking 3 years away. Really? Ezra Miller is the Flash? No, he's not. Grant Gustin is the Flash. Ezra Miller might someday be a Flash. Nothing against the kid as an actor, but yeah, it's real shitty how they've done that.
We might be saying Jay Garrick is the Flash between now and then, too.
No shit. At this point, I think
awesome.
we're only missing. They already cast Jesse Quick. I think we're only missing Max Mercury and Bart.
And Max Mercury got hinted at because
if they get Max and Bart, we'll have the whole Speed family on the TV show.
What's her name? Caitlin works at Mercury Labs now or whatever. So
I was gonna say, and they're edging towards her character development, aren't they?
Killer Frost.
Yep.
They've already hinted at that in the season finale. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of hints of things going forward. That might have been some vague spoilers, so I apologize if so. But looking at the time, we got to start wrapping up the show. We'll do that in a traditional way of doing a round of what I'm into. For those not familiar, that's basically our chance to share with you what we're listening to, watching, reading, gaming, whatever, and maybe convert you to doing the same thing. So, Naki, why don't you go first?
Today I caved and I bought Tales of the Borderland for PC because it's on sale on Steam for $8. So I got the whole thing for $8. So I caved is what I'm telling you. I have been gone for the past 3 weeks because I was dealing with a lot of personal issues. One of my best friends passed away from pancreatic cancer. And so I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what I wanted to do because it's very weird how impactful someone is even after they're gone. And Sean and I had a really good relationship in regards to cosplay and comic books and that sort of things. And for those of you who are aware, I have my own channel on YouTube called Absurdities, and that went on hiatus as soon as I went on hiatus here. And that is because I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do. So I'll be doing an announcement video later on today, but you can have the pre-announcement since this is basically my home. I am going to expand Absurdities from just gaming videos, and I'll be doing more with that. On top of that, I have been celebrating anniversary with boyfriend. We are now 2 years going, and we went to Morton's Steakhouse, and my last name was on the menu as Happy Anniversary, Mr. and Mrs., and he got a little upset by that. He's like,
he's Mr. Naki?
Yes. And he's like, that's not my last name.
That's awesome.
So that was great. We also, on top of that, what else have I been doing? I have been reading like a shit ton. I am finally more than halfway done with the first book of Game of Thrones. I'm really trying to power through this, guys. I really am. I am all caught up on Steven Universe, which, holy shit, that show is so good. Like, if you aren't watching it, I understand it's a kid's show, and so you probably are like, yeah, but you know what? that show has more development of characters' relationships, of diversity, of just how to be a good person. Like that Mr. Rogers feel that you used to get, but not really. And it's just so good, and that show has put me on the feels train more than once. So I highly recommend that show. It has a lot of corresponding books with it, too. So The Guide to the Crystal Gems just came out this week, which I forgot that I pre-ordered, and it magically showed up on my tablet, and I was just like, oh, books, yay!
I love it when that happens.
And they have, like, a corresponding comic book series. There's a bunch of, like kids' novels that came out for it, too. It honestly is one of the best things that's on TV, not only just for kids, but for adults, because it talks about healthy relationships and what should be a healthy relationship. And we don't talk about that much in society, like just how people who are poisonous to each other really shouldn't be together, but people stay together, and they talk about why you shouldn't stay together. It's like, this is really deep for a kid's show, but regardless. I've also been... as you can see, I'm still in this little box area, but I got a new desk, so hopefully that'll mean monitor number 2, where I could actually fit it on my desk. That would be great. And an actual, mount for this robot penis, because while we're all up close and personal with the robot penis, this is a little... I'm hitting a wall right here. Like, now I'm touching a wall. This is a little too close for comfort. I've been painting, I've been drawing. I'm just trying to work through a whole lot of emotion that no one ever is prepared for. So that's been my thing lately. So
cool. I'll go next then, because I haven't been getting into a ton. I've been playing Saints Row 4 on occasion on my PC still because I picked it up for cheap in one of the Steam sales, and I loved it on the Xbox. I still love it on here because it's ridiculous and over the top. And then yesterday I started playing the Star Wars Battlefront beta on Xbox One. It's also out for PS4 and PC, I think. And I'm undecided so far. I'm kind of in the problem where it looks pretty, it plays well, but it's a multiplayer game, and if you're not playing with friends, it kind of sucks because people just run around and be like, I can kill everything on my own. And you're like, no, on one of these games you actually have to have strategy. Put on your goddamn headset and let's figure out the right way to do this instead of running around and trying to kill everything by ourselves. Maybe that's just a rant for another time, though.
No, I get it. I get that. That's why I don't do MMORPGs a lot.
I mean, this is an MMORPG. It's just a multiplayer shooter. But similar concept, I think. Also, I have been podcasting because that's what I do also on the side. Starling Tribune, we have moved to recording Thursday nights. So if you are interested, check out Thursday nights at 9 p.m. That's when we'll talk Arrow about the preceding episode from the day before. It's myself, SP, and Neil are kind of heading things up on that one with some random drop-ins from Jay, and Wing is the plan right now. And also I want to give some kudos to SP right now, who is going through and cleaning up the back catalog on the Starling Tribune. So thank you, sir, for doing that and re-editing some stuff. It's going to pay off, and I'm excited to say that hits are up on Starling Tribune. So if you're an Arrow fan, check out the Starling Tribune. It'd mean a lot to me since I'm on it. Yeah. So, Willie, what do you getting? Chris. No, you don't like me? I'm going to kick it to Willie next. Chris. Oh. Wait, I'm confused.
I'm trying to be nice to you, goddammit.
That makes me feel so much better. I'm gonna pass it over to Willie before Naki tries to be nice to me again.
Okay. Well, I haven't had a whole lot of time to do much. I've been trying to catch up on my TV and caught up all on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Got it on the brain.
Nice informal plug, though. We appreciate it.
There you go. Yeah. Working, sleeping, haven't even been playing games. I missed my PS4. Hopefully next month I'll be getting another one. So
well, they just dropped the price on them, so you've got a chance.
I know, I told you that. That was a hint to, hey, maybe you should get one too.
I don't need another console right now.
You don't. But you kind of want one.
I kind of do, but I'd only play like one game on it, maybe.
I hate you guys.
I need Halo 5 in my life, and that is on the Xbone.
And other than that, I'm just waiting on some of my Kickstarter stuff that come in, hopefully soon.
I think I have some Kickstarter stuff headed my way soon. I need to check. I don't know. But let's go to the comic rundown with one Mr. Anthony Bachman, because we know he's got a stack of stuff, as he told us before the show started. So
there is a stack of books.
What do you got for us, sir?
Let's see. Spider Island finished.
I
Which
finished
was a
that
good
too.
one. 5 issues. Final throwdown between the Spider Queen and all the people still alive on Spider Island. That was a really good one. Old Man Logan ended, so they brought that one to a close. That was another fun, kind of just interesting take on the whole Logan story of him re-meeting a bunch of X-Men that are alive. After, Old Man Logan was the guy who actually killed off all the X-Men in his world, and then kind of had to deal with how bad that made him feel for a couple of decades. And then there was basically a huge problem that I noticed with Marvel because they're fucking stupid. As good as they are with they can't time shit with their comic books. Secret Wars number 6. It's supposed to be number 6 of an 8-part series. They've actually added issue 9. So Secret Wars is going to keep going until December. Which,
Cash
okay,
grab.
great. Yeah, but it's an awesome story. Isaac Ribic is still going to be doing all the artwork for the next 3 issues, and it's a fucking beautiful book. So I'm excited to see where it goes. Problem being, this fucking story isn't over yet. And this month, or this week, we got Invincible Iron Man number 1, Doctor Strange number 1, who, spoiler alert if you're not caught up on Secret Wars, just fucking died in issue 5, and Amazing Spider-Man. So you have Peter Parker and Miles Morales sneaking around in Doomsday trying to find out what Doom's up to in Secret Wars, and yet here's the Peter Parker of the new universe and how his life is now. So what the fuck? Having a massive crossover that basically ended your entire all your multiple universes not be done before you launch your new number 1s, it's really fucking annoying. That being said, Marquez's artwork on Invincible Iron Man was awesome. The intro to the new character and the way things are set up for Tony is really cool. I think this might be a much funner book than Iron Man's been in a long time, so I'm looking forward to that one. Doctor Strange I got because it's Chris Boccello, however you say his name. One of the coolest things about Doctor Strange when they started the comic back in the 60s was, okay, this guy's going to jump into another dimension and deal with some demons or whatever. What does that dimension look like? And it was a bunch of fucking drugged out artists in the 60s going, well, I think it looks like this. And they just drew crazy shit. And that's exactly what this book is. Chris Boccello, most people know him from Generation X. And he had the artwork on there. But yeah, where is it at? Yeah. Fighting parasitic dream demons. Fucking Doctor Strange, just awesome. The artwork is amazing, and the start of the story is really cool, and I think it's going to be a fantastic book as long as he stays on it as the artist. And once they change artists, then I'll have to relook at whether or not it'll stay on my pull list. But probably the coolest thing this week was The Amazing Spider-Man. You have the introduction to the new global Parker Industries. The fact that Peter now has multiple people in spider suits running around doing different things. He's played himself off now as the poor man's Tony Stark. Peter Parker is the CEO of Parker Industries, and Spider-Man is his bodyguard. So they're literally doing like the classic Tony Stark storyline where Spider-Man shows up to save Peter. And at this point, at the start of the book, the reason we had the crazy question about the Chinese-looking characters in all the promo artwork is it's actually Peter opening the Shanghai Park Industries, and he's over in China actually learning Mandarin and learning how to drive, which he hadn't done before. So the book starts with him and Black Canary driving down the street in the new Spider-Mobile that he has in Shanghai.
It was
It's
Mockingbird.
a fucking crazy ass comic. Oh, it was Mockingbird. That's right. But yeah, it was a crazy ass comic. It's they made it super expensive, $5.99. It's $6, but this one was oversized. That was the other thing that was strange. Doctor Strange is $4.99, regular size comic. The Super Bowl covered Iron Man was $3.99, regular size comic, and then Spider-Man was oversized for $5.99. So all 3 of the new number 1s that came out this week all had different prices on them, and 2 of them were the exact same size. So I don't know what the fuck Marvel's doing. Spider-Man was fantastic.
I don't know. I
Other
read
than that,
I read
I've
Spider-Man
been-
#1. I really enjoyed it.
Did you like it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool stuff. That, and I've been keeping up with Inktober. I got my 10th one out a little late last night. Technically, it was this morning, but I did it before I went to bed, so I think that still counts for yesterday. So I'm 10 drawings in, 21 more to go.
They're looking really good.
Thank you. I started sketches for a Darth Talon, so I will get that one done at some point. So Michelle will get her Darth Talon for one of those days. And I grabbed an image for, what was it, HK51? So I'll try to do that one for her buddy as well. But yeah, got that going, and then I actually went and got remeasured by my friend prepping for doing my costume for Captain America. And I'm happy to say the gut is down 3 inches. The back is down, I think, 2 inches. And I added a couple inches across my chest and added an inch to each thigh. So, yeah.
Congratulations. Yay.
Thank you. Yeah, 3 months worth of working out, and I dropped 3 inches off my gut. So it's paying off. Now I'm just, pre-workout, chugging protein, fucking eating massive amounts of food every day, and kicking my ass outside at my porch of pain. It's been fun.
I'm going by my arm. Because, as you can kind of see, Calvin and Hobbes is slowly starting to morph into a full sleeve as opposed to just a half sleeve.
They're still 15 inches. The arm size didn't change.
My arm size has gone down quite a bit. But see, I can tell by I can wave, and my whole arm doesn't wave with me.
That's good. But yeah, my arms have not gotten any bigger. I was a little sad when she measured my arms, and they were still the same size. I was like, "Are you kidding me? My tricep feels huge now."
Well, that's probably what it is. Is you dropped the fat layer, and you've got a muscle layer. It's just muscle now. Your muscle has grown into it.
It's just it's the same size. I need to get them. Got to get to at least 16 inches. Got to get there.
I was gonna say mine are 13. So, I'm okay with my arms being thin. I wish. This is my weird thing. I want my boobs to go down. These hurt my back, so that's why I want them to go down.
Guy to agree with any less boob.
What does Mr. Naki think about this?
Mr. Naki, we have had this discussion. Mr. Naki and I have decided that whatever I want to do to my body, it is my body, and he's just going to have to fucking deal with it.
I was going for the joke. I figured that was the case. But thank you for playing the straight answer to my joke. I appreciate it.
That was perfect. Oh, Mr. Naki.
Poor Mr. Naki. He's
so
not thrilled with being Mr. Naki.
He's not going to complain. He's just happy he gets to play with boobs.
But if you hadn't told us that bugged him, we probably wouldn't be making a joke out of it. We'd have just been like, eh.
His reaction was just like, that's not my last name.
That's the name of this episode this week. That's not my last name.
Well, Naki's not my last name either. I
know.
Got to put my last name out on the internet. Not that it's not hard to find, but I just don't. It's my middle name.
If you guys give me $5, I'll give you her a name.
I don't want to be doxxed is my problem.
Yeah, I like $5 a lot more.
Yeah, touche.
Privacy, people. Privacy.
So,
it's okay.
looking at the time, we have run over, and we started late, so it's 12:30 right now. So it's probably time for us to start wrapping up the show. I'm in the East Coast. All right, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're a half hour past our normal quitting time, but we started 15 minutes late, so we're really 15 minutes over. But we'll start wrapping up the show like we normally do. That's true. It's a celebration of Naki. So if you want to get a hold of the show, go over to atgnpodcast.com. You can find all of our entire back catalog there. You can find contact information on there. But if you need it for yourself, you can hit us up on Twitter at ATGNpodcast or at Facebook at facebook.com/allthingsgoodandnerdy. If you want to send us an email, send that to atgnpodcast@GonnaGeek.com. And finally, if you want to give us a phone call like one Willie D. Nelson has done before, you can call the ATGN hotline at 304-806-ATGN. Leave us a voicemail. Let us know what you think of things. Let us know what you think we got wrong. We don't care. We'll play it, and we'll make fun of you. And you'll probably make fun of us. And it's how it works. Don't forget, we also stream live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern over at live.atgnpodcast.com, Channel 3 of the Off Geek Radio app, and on GonnaGeek.com/live. Like I've said before, it's part of our goal to make sure we are everywhere on the internet on Sunday mornings for you. We will force you to consume our content.
Consume me! Wait.
Wait,
No.
what?
Instant regret.
Hold on now.
Maybe that's a better show name. Is Instant Regret.
Isn't that every week?
Shh. No, it's not instant.
I
So
opened my
the
mouth.
Movie
on the
title:
internet.
Mr. Naki, semicolon, instant regret.
Hey, that just makes it sound like he's instantly regretting being with me.
Yeah.
No,
No,
he's
I'm
just instantly
sad.
regretting being called Mr. Naki.
So, guys, before we get out of here, anyone have any final thoughts?
Penis.
I'll be here all week stroking my beard.
At least it's your beard.
Apparently, Willie, the way they're telling us apart as new Naki versus old Naki is my glasses. We have the same amount of hair, just yours is in different places.
Naki is not my name.
No, you're new Naki. It's okay.
No, what?
Oh, man.
And now he's sad. Technically, Naki is a boy's name, so...
Screw it, I'll embrace it. New Naki!
On that note, we're going to get out of here, guys, and I'm going to play off with the new outro just so we can cover ourselves with citing things properly for who does our music, which is shout out to Kevin MacLeod over at Incompetech.com. We will see you guys next week, but until then, have a good one. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek radio app, and over at our network home at GonnaGeek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@GonnaGeek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at Incompetech.com.